Looks like we're going live. We are live. So this is the first, y'all, of the Sunday Night Live. Saturday Night Live was taken. We could not use that. So this is Sunday Night Live. You guys, you can literally ask me anything. So this is completely open. You can ask me about websites. You can ask me about SEO. Ask me about social media strategy. Ask me about social media in general. Ask me about selling online. Ask me about nutrition, weight loss, paleo, keto. What are the things? Being a mom, work-life balance. How do you get insurance when you're an entrepreneur? Anything entrepreneurial. You guys, I have been in the entrepreneurial, that's hard, world for such a long time. It's been years. And I haven't just worked with big businesses. I've also worked with smaller businesses and with a lot of what we would call startups, right? So startups are people that had an idea. So think Shark Tank. So people that had an idea, that got really excited about something, they wanted to create something new. How do you get attention on that new thing? I've worked with a lot of those. Services, yada, yada. Ask me your questions. Tell me your questions. I had somebody ask me earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this. I had somebody ask me earlier about whether it's worth it to use Facebook ads. And to me, that is a massively loaded question. The trick with Facebook ads, friends, is that if you do not have the right sequence set up, and what I mean by that is if you're just putting an ad out there that's like, bang, here's all the things, right? If you just put an ad out there that is trying to get them to buy things and not do any sort of like building of relationship, the hi, how are you with the customer, that sort of thing. If you're going straight to, hey, let me sell you this thing, so likely you are not actually going to sell that thing. The only time that actually works is with retail. Think Wish, right? Whenever you're looking at retail items, and they usually do better on Instagram than they do on Facebook. But that's the only time like, hey, buy this thing actually works. Before then, like if you're selling coaching or if you're a service, right? What you need to do is you need to bring them into your world first. So that's where the freebie comes in, right? Like you bring them into your world, you tell them what you know, you build a relationship with them via like those first ads or two, like then a sequence. And then that's when, if it makes sense for them, then they can start seeing ads that because they saw this page, now they're going to start seeing this ad. So, and this might get massively confusing, and I'm going to try my best to not make it weird. So they could see this page, right? So maybe they saw one ad that you had and they liked it and they got your freebie or your guide or whatever. And then after that, they went to a shopping cart, and then they didn't buy the thing. Well, then you can follow up and try to give them more reinforcement about that concept of what you're selling, right? And how it would be good for them, if it's going to be good for them, right? I mean, if it's not, let's not say that, right? But that's how ads do work. So that's why I said it's a totally loaded question. Do Facebook ads work? They do if you do them right, but you have to have a strategy and a sequence set up in order to do them right. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that alone because that was a lot. Audrey, how do you balance mom and travel and business? Oh, man. Well, so we were unschooling, and then we realized we needed some structure that mom couldn't give. So Nora is now in Montessori school, which is, I think, pretty darn similar to unschooling. And then whenever Nora hits age 6, then she's going to come back home to unschooling. But still at Montessori school, we can take her on trips with us and such, right? So the balance of the mom and travel part is that I'm a mom and I'm traveling with her. For the most part, I bring her with us whenever we go anywhere. We're going to Hawaii in a couple days, and she's not coming with us there, but she is very excited to hang out with Jama. So, which is grandma, by the way. So there's that. But that balance is pretty darn easy because we'll find something to do that's a learning thing to do in the city that we're going, and yada yada. Now, balance between business and being a mom, that is not tricky, but it's not hard and defined. So it's not, I'm going to work from 2 to 6 and then I'm going to do this. For me, it's not. For some people, it might be, and it might work very well for them. For me, it doesn't. For me, it's, okay, baby, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes. And then we're going to snuggle, and then we're going to play, and then we're going to do something else. And then I've got some other stuff I'm going to do, and then we're going to snuggle. I sort of like envelop snuggles and playtime into work stuff. And that's what I get to do whenever I get to work from home, right? Is I get to set my schedule. I get to get the things done whenever I need to get them done, right? That's why I personally believe home-based businesses, which typically are network marketing, right? I believe that home-based businesses are the best things ever for your family, right? It doesn't take you away from your family for 40 hours a week, right? You can work from home, be around them. Sometimes you might need a vacation from them, but you're around each other much more, and you're able to build your own bonds and your own relationships and stuff like that. So the balance I find is that it's a weaving in. It's a weaving in. And then sometimes I ask her to help me with things as well. So tomorrow I asked her to help me with a couple of things. I ask her what, some different ideas for stuff. And I'll say, what do you think about this? Because I'm also raising an entrepreneur, right? I'm making very certain that the ideas and the concepts that are coming out of me are something that's going to plant the seed in her. Not that she needs to be just like me. I'm not saying that at all. But I want her to understand she can choose her own freedom. And I want her to understand that she's nobody's slave, right? That she can do her own thing. And I want her to see what independence looks/feels like. So I bring her into the fold also. So there's that. Lisa, I haven't worked out in 2+ years and gained 50. How did you get yourself going to do the thing? Oh man, that is such a good question. So honestly, it's one of our products that we have. I know a lot of us on here are from the same company, which is Young Living. Whoop, whoop. There's a product that we have that it's not a weight loss product or anything, but it's our juice. And our juice levels our blood sugar. Okay. What that did for me is it stopped my cravings. So I used to be, I'm sorry, excuse me. I used to be, and by the way, you guys, stay to the end. Somebody's going to win something. All right. So whoever is on here, I'm going to have you type something out at the end of the video, and somebody is going to win something. So there's that. So for the juice, it balances out your sugars. So I wasn't craving as much. So I used to be a food addict. Let's just say that. That's what it was. I was an alcoholic at one point. That transferred somehow to being addicted to food. And so I would diet for a couple of weeks. Tell me if you've heard this story before. I would diet for a couple of weeks, maybe. Sometimes it was 1 week. But I would diet for whatever, X number of time. And then all of a sudden I would feel the urge/need to go out. This was my protocol. I would go to Starbucks first. I would get a venti, mocha chip, Java chip Frappuccino. Okay. Venti. That's insane. All right. Then I would go to McDonald's and I would get a number 2 with no pickles and a Coke. I did not need that Coke. Also, I didn't need any of that. And then after that, I would go to a gas station and I would get like a donut or something like that. And then hear this, guys. Then I would sit in my car and eat it all. And then I would throw away the garbage in the the trash can at Walgreens. And just so whenever I got home, nobody saw what nobody saw what I had eaten. And then I would pray that people didn't have to get in my car afterwards so they didn't smell the French fries. So that was the kind of food addiction that I had, right? So that's what the juice is what kept me from craving more, because I had tried to do keto a number of times, and it never really worked out well for me because I couldn't get past the first week and a half, 2 weeks or so to really get into, like you're not hungry really. But I couldn't get to that point before I would splurge, right? Or binge or whatever. And so because I couldn't do that, I just kept failing. And what happens whenever you eat, so keto is, the fat is the lever. So you're eating a good amount of fat and a lower amount of carbs. What happens when you're eating a good amount of fat and then you splurge on a ton of carbs too? Okay, that's terrible. You're talking potential heart attack land. Okay, that is like coronary disease. That is bad stuff. Okay, that's essentially our Western diet, and that is why we have the bodies that we do. We look the way that we do. It's the toxins, it's the kind of food, it's the carbs and the fat, it's all of the things, right? And so whenever I started drinking the juice, it allowed me to understand when I was just satisfied and then I didn't crave these other things. So then it was my gateway to be able to move into keto in a better way. And now I drink juice, I do keto, all of the things. And I love it. But that's how I got myself going. It was the juice. It helped me with my jumpstart. Katie Lynn Perry, how did you find Young Living? Oh, why did you decide to become a member? Because of the business opportunity, or started with loving the products, then realized there was a business? It was not the business that got me started. So this is a funny story. So I was with the other company for 8 years. I bought religiously every single month. I am a supplement girl all day long, so I was getting my supplements every month, and my upline person just kept basically here's what it felt like. It felt like they were barking down the chain at me. It felt like they were just barking promos at me. Here, buy this, here, buy this, here, buy this, here, buy this. And finally, after 8 years, I had enough. I was like, what? Because in that 8 years, I lost my dad. In that 8 years, we had a baby. In that 8 years, we lost, right? Lost a baby. There were a lot of things that happened in that 8 years that if only she had built a relationship with me and been able to be by my side instead of barking down the chain, it may have been a different experience. But it wasn't. And finally, I found out that a friend of mine was with Young Living. And then at that point, I knew what Young Living was. I didn't in the first place. And she basically, I just knew she was with Young Living. And I was like, hey, do you have something that's comparable to this? And if I imagine that when I asked her that question, she probably did the biggest eye roll in the back of her mind, like, oh, of course we do. But I mean, I know that now, but at that point, I'm just like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Do you guys have this? And ended up being Master Formula. And so, of course, I did. And then I was like, okay, cool, sign me up. I'm canceling this. I'm getting out of this. Sign me up. I canceled my account completely with like 200 rewards points. Didn't even care. Get me out. And so then I signed up with a Savvy kit, which is our makeup. Love our makeup. And then the rest is history. I fell in love with the products, and then the compensation plan sort of did one of these across my peripheral. And I was like, oh, what's that? Because I'm a business strategist, right? So I was looking at it, and then I was just like, this doesn't look that hard. and these products are amazing. I don't think that there's a better opportunity out there, honestly. Honestly, from somebody who has seen a lot of businesses, I don't think that there is a better opportunity out there because there just isn't. You have to pay in so much money on so many businesses to hope to succeed. This has like no overhead. All it requires is basically talking and being friendly with people. And then we, of course, in Go for Gold and Golden Six, which is the strategy that I created for my own team to hit gold in Young Living, which typically takes shy of 5 years, took us 6 months to hit it. But I'm showing everybody how to do that. So now there's no excuse on the planet not to build your business with Young Living because it's so easy and it's heartfelt and it's heart-centered and it doesn't feel icky and it never feels salesy and it's so much better. But whenever I saw all of that, when my mind was like, then I was in and I started. And there weren't many tools available. And whenever I noticed there weren't tools available, I was disappointed. I thought that whenever I started that it was going to be easier. I thought that there was going to be some sort of like 1, 2, 3 checklist, right? I thought I was going to have some sort of like, just do this, Martha, just do this. But there wasn't. There were a lot of people saying teach classes. And as a new person coming into a company, you feel far from a person that needs to be teaching classes, right? And I'm like, I don't know about that. And then also, so I tried to teach a class and like nobody came. 2 people came. Okay. One of them was my upline. And then I realized like, this isn't going to be the way I'm going to grow. It's not going to be from classes because it was exhausting. It was exhausting to set up. It was exhausting to invite people. It was exhausting to follow up with the invites and all just to get them in a room to maybe be able to say the thing that they needed to hear in order to have one touch, right? Convert into a member. You guys, it takes 7 to 15 touches for somebody to decide to join something or decide to buy anything. I don't care if it's Q-tips. 7 to 15 times you have to talk to that person, right? Or like that's the scalable average. So I'm like this whole class thing. I mean, if they're going to come to 7 to 15 classes, that's cool. Do I want to teach that many classes? Do I have that kind of time? Do I want to be scheduling out that stuff? Because like I've got a heavy blue in my personality, which is all party all day. And which means I also don't do schedules real well. So, so classes to me were like, that's not going to be my answer. And so I had to figure it out on my own. Like, what is going to be my answer? Because what's the concept? Let's just get into it super quick. What's the concept of a class, right? A concept of a class is to be able to get in front of somebody and to have them they're already warmed up because they've decided to come get their body to a class, right? And then you're going to engage with them and you're going to soft educate or you're going to teach them some things, hopefully in a fun environment, right? That's like a class. And the concept is that you're going to be able to nurture them in that class. So what my job was at that point to figure out was how can I do that without actually teaching classes? Because that's the part I don't want to do. And then this is where this whole concept of Golden Six, like the structure, the blueprint, the framework, that's where that whole structure came up, is because that's how basically it's like teaching a class, but it's over the course of time and it's one to many instead of like one-on-one all the time. There are moments where it's one-on-one, there are moments where it's one to many, and then eventually they ask to sign up if it's the right thing for them. So yeah, I really answered the heck out of that question there. But yeah, so I didn't start because of the business. I had to remember what the question was in the first place. Homemaker's Hope. I love your backdrop. Thank you. It's actually a wall back there. Audrey Weaving. Yes, I like that. Awesome. Carla, what is your YL rank now? I am still gold, girl. I am still gold. Yolanda Stowe. Oh, I can't wait to get our order of juice. Looking forward to building my testimony. Oh, heck yeah, that juice is great. Lighthearted yoga. How much do you typically drink in a day, the juice? So I drink anywhere between 4 and 6 ounces, sometimes 8 ounces a day. The way that I determine if I need some more, basically what the juice does, or what a wolfberry does, the juice is wolfberries and other things, right? But what a wolfberry does is it has nutrients in it that basically are going to wake up the mitochondria. The mitochondria are the energy centers of your cells, right? So I can tell that I'm getting low, like that I should drink some more if I feel my energy starting to drop. So that's why it gives you so much energy, you guys, whenever you're, drinking it. And then if you don't drink it for a while, you'll start to feel like, oh, and that's because your mitochondria are suffering. Like, it's literally because your body was used to getting the nutrients it needed, and then now it can't anymore, right? So that's that sort of, that's how that works. Leah, oh, interesting about the Ningxia. I'm a Starbucks venti and McDonald's mocha frappy junkie. Katie Lynn Perry. Oh, that's interesting. Judy, I agree. Ningxia Red has helped me cut my emotional eating. Love Ningxia Red and the Nitro. 100%. Yes, Judy, 100%. Oh, what a story. Thank you. Katie Lynn, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Of course. Yes, I have never seen or heard any leader like you. Thank you. Aw, thanks. Yolanda, how do you keep yourself motivated to keep going as wife, mom, business owner, etc., when life feels overwhelming? Boy, isn't this a good question for today? I'm not going to go into the details of what happened in our family today, but it was a really rough day. But I am still here right now doing the darn thing. It's your why. I'm going to go back to Start With Why by Simon Sinek. If you haven't read that book, make sure that you read it. Just get it on Audible if you want to, whatever. It's an amazing book. It basically explains to us in a very easy to understand way why people need to know our why, because they need to understand. Well, I'm not going to get into that part of it. What keeps me going? That was the question. So what keeps me going is my own why. So what am I doing this for? I'm not just doing this for myself. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for my husband. I'm doing this for my daughter. I'm doing this for my daughter's kids. And I'm doing this for my daughter's kids, right? I'm also doing it for my local community so I can make money to be able to give back. You guys, I believe we as the good people in the world need to be making the most money so we can be giving back, because other people aren't going to do the same things with that money that we are. And that's why it's important that we step up and do the darn thing. And so whenever I feel challenged and I feel like, man, I just kind of want to withdraw and say, I don't want to today, I think of you guys. I think of the people that are out there that need this message, that need to hear this stuff so they can get jazzed, they can get excited, and then they can take this into their own business. Because you guys, when we build our business by proxy, we have is excellent product, right? That is changing people's lives. And we're not even able to talk about all the ways it changes people's lives. I'm not even going to get into all of that because I'm not going to upset people I don't need to be upsetting. But you and I know, we hear the stories. We know the things that are happening, right? And if I can empower any person on the planet to start sharing, like everybody, like if we can all in Young Living at least start sharing with our friends, 2 people, whatever. If we can start sharing like that, then we start expanding. If the more that we feel challenges and then cower away from them, that we are doing no service. If we are really leading with our heart and we are really, really wanting to help the world, then what we need to do is we need to show up. And that's no matter how you feel. If you're feeling cruddy, if you're feeling challenged, you show up with grace. And then you make it happen. And you empower the people around you to do the same exact thing. Okay? That's I do soapboxes is a thing. I don't know if you know about that. Where were we at? Audrey, do you menu plan? So here's the thing, Audrey. I don't. So I have menu plans in my Good Life group. I have there's a whole slew of recipes and plans, and eat this at this time of day and drink this at this time of day. And it's like it plans your whole day out where you don't have to think about anything. Now for me, I do the same thing all the time. And then sometimes I switch it to another thing, which I then do all the time. So I am really there's no plan because I eat the same thing all the doggone time. So there's no requirement to plan for me because I don't cook that much. That's the whole thing. We cook and then we have that food for a few days. Let's see. Angie, what are your other top supplements after the juice? Oh, I love this. Multigreens. I love multigreens. I love sulfurzyme. I love cortistop. Cortistop is great because that's going to help you balance your cortisol levels. I'm trying to think of what is on my counter right now. Inner Defense. That's not a supplement necessarily, but it kind of turns into a supplement over the wintertime. Inner Defense. Yeah, those are the big ones. Those are the really big ones. I also use AminoWise for my BCAAs, and that's because I lift. So whenever I lift for muscle recovery, you need some BCAAs to help shorten that muscle recovery time. So I use that as well. I'm just feeling my shoulder muscles apparently right now, or balking like a chicken. But yeah, those are my big ones. Kelly, exactly. Sucks when you're out of NR. Yes. Donna, drinking red juice unicorn, drink it right now. Yes. Yolanda, the why. Sorry, what was the name of the book? The name of the book is Start With Why. Here, let me put it into the comments. Start With Why by Simon Sinek. He has another great book called Leaders Eat Last, and I love that one also. Oh, you already got that. Start With Why. Thank you so much. Donna, listening to Start With Why this week. Great book. Awesome. Angie, you are definitely changing lives in a big way. Hey, we all are. We all are. Carla, yes. Mary Young says a lot of money in the hands of good people can change the world. Amen to that. Louder for the people in the back. Hey, I was yelling in my house. I don't know if you could tell I was yelling. Audrey, grace, grit, gratitude. Yes. Cindy, what would you suggest for me dealing with an immediate upline that is micromanaging my team and turning most off? I haven't been able to get my team to engage. I'm working on building relationships. That's a great question, Cindy. The question here that I would have is, and honestly, it doesn't really even matter, but did they sign the people up and then stack them under you? Is that how your people got introduced to your team, or are your people that you personally signed up, or your other people personally signed up, or whatever? But even so, it doesn't really matter. There's a very interesting thing here, because as a leader, there's a lot of people that are going to say that's my team. And I've even said it, whoever is below you, if you have a leader beneath you that doesn't want you to talk to their team, that's your team still, so you technically can. Here's what I would do, because I call out what I call elephants in the room. So what I would do is I would have a real honest, authentic conversation with whoever it is, and say, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing here. And I get that you're trying to help and that you're spending time here. And I love that. This is the feedback that I'm getting, because listen, if they understand that people are not liking that, and that could potentially lead to them stopping, because it could, right? If somebody doesn't like an experience, they're going to get away from the experience. That's basic psychology. So, if they, just say, I don't really think that these people are liking this, do what you want to do, because she literally can do what she wants to do, whatever, she or he, whatever. But just know that I think they might be on the verge of stopping because of what you're saying to them. Any business owner, I believe, in their right mind, is going to say, oh, shoot, I did not mean to do that. Because it could be a complete miscommunication, you guys. It could be a complete miscommunication. They don't realize what they're doing. They don't have good self evaluation. Like they're not good at seeing what they actually look like. That's what I would do, is just have a good old honest conversation about it. I've had plenty of those. And they're good. They always end up so good. Yolanda. Oh, thank you. I was trying to capture what Martha was saying about motivation. Yvonne. Hi, Martha. Do you have a welcome kit? What to put in? Oh, so I just had this conversation with Diamond Lane last week. That's my mastermind group. I don't have just one welcome kit. I make it custom. So depending on what the person, and I know what they want and what they need, because I've had a good conversation with them, like the conversation cheat sheet in Golden 6, right? Or Go for Gold, same thing. Because I know what they're looking for, I can give them something that's going to help them on their journey. So I could go to Life Science if I know that somebody is wanting to get healthy for fertility reasons. Then I can go to Life Science and I can grab her a book that's going to support, like Gentle Babies or the pregnancy something. I can send that to her. That's going to support her in her journey. And it's not like I'm not phoning it in. It's not general. It's just, it's exactly what she needs. So I don't have any welcome kit, honestly. I just give people what I think that they need, customized to them, because that's building a relationship. Just because somebody signed up doesn't mean it's the end of the road. That's the beginning of the road, right? Cindy, one leg is people she stacked, the rest of the team is all me. Either way, I would have that conversation. Katie Lynn Perry, Yvonne, that's a great question. Homemakers Hope, oh, I love the idea of custom, such a relationship builder approach. Exactly. They know you care about them. And here's the thing, they know you were listening. And of course, whenever you're listening, you write your notes, you make sure that, because our bandwidth is only, because when your team is 50,000, you're not going to remember all of that, right? You got to make sure that you're making notes and that you have a CRM or something. Insert get oiling, right? Let's see. Katie Lynn Perry. Ooh, custom. That's perfect. I usually always do the pocket reference. Pocket reference is fantastic. That's great. I would also just add something else that's perfect for them. Do they have school age kids? Then get them the school age kids thing. Just have Life Science in your back pocket, and know what they have available, so you know you've got a quick go to. This is what I think I'm going to send this person. I think I'm going to send this. It's like sometimes it's $5, sometimes it's $12. Small investment, you guys, in a relationship that's going to last for years. Okay. Judy, I like the idea of a custom welcome kit. Heck yeah. Oh man, our time is up, y'all. I'm going to be doing this every single Sunday. Okay. So, come back. Now everybody, let me see what word. I'm going to have you all type out a word, and one of you is going to win, and I'll tell you who won at the end. Okay. So the word, this is my word for the year. If anybody saw it on my Facebook post this morning, my word for the year is relentless. I want to see it over and over and over. Type relentless into the comments, and one of you is going to win the prize for this week. Okay. Don Fraser. Oh, yes. Love LSP Relentless. Yes! All the caps, everything. Lisa Tuck. What? But I can't remember which one it is. I'm so sorry. Get on there. It's there though. It's there. Relentless. Do you always put $25 in a new distributor's account? You mentioned that this incentive. I do not always do it. No, that's only an incentive sometimes. That's more like end of month stuff sometimes. Relentless. Yes. You guys, whenever The reason my word is relentless is, first of all, it's been playing over and over in my mind for quite some time now. But the reason it's relentless is some people look at relentless like it's a bad thing. Some people look at it like, oh, that means they get obsessed, right? That means that they kind of go hard in the paint. Relentless to me means I am doing my mission. I am performing my purpose in a way that I am not going to be sidetracked from. What I do, I relentlessly do. When I'm showing people how to make money so their family can be free, I am relentless in doing that. When I show people that they can have a non-toxic environment in their home so their family doesn't get these things that everybody else gets, I am relentless when I talk about that. Does that mean I'm pushy? No. It means I do not stop. We do not stop. Yvonne, custom is nice. Harder to find the books. Here, Europe, small country. I can give the app or I might create something in my language. There you go. There you go. Thank you for leading with courage. Aw. Thank you guys for being here. Sandy, yes. Don Fraser, relentless, 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 relentless. Bah! Kelly, can't wait to meet you. Oh my gosh. Going to Hawaii, y'all. Oh man, I'm going to let y'all get your relentlesses in. This has been fun. I'm going to pop out of here. One of you guys is going to win and I'm going to message you. Angie, yes, you give your all. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you for showing up, because not one word that I say ever would ever matter if somebody wasn't listening. I could be talking in a vacuum and nobody would know, and none of this message would be spreading out, right? It's because you guys are listening that gives it value. I need you to understand that. I am doing nothing. I'm doing what I'm called to do. I'm showing up, right? I'm showing up like I'm supposed to show up. You guys are making the choice to show up too. And you need to give yourself a pat on the back for showing up as well, because you guys are the ones that are making this valuable at all. All right. Praying for you and your family. I appreciate it. We will take it for quite some time now. I think we'll take it. I love you guys. I will see you later. Bye-bye.